Hey everyone, in today's video we're going to dive into the world of mortgages. If you've ever looked at taking out a loan, you've probably come across the time to make a decision should you work with a mortgage broker or a mortgage banker. If you ever found yourself in that position or you think that might be a position you'll be in the future, then this video is for you. So in full disclosure, I work as a mortgage lender or a mortgage banker. So although I'm biased and I think this is probably the best way to get a loan, I'm going to try to take this video from a position that is fair to both sides. All right, so let's dive in. First, starting with a mortgage broker. So a mortgage broker is a middleman between you and the lending institution. The advantages of working with a mortgage broker is that they have access to a wide array of products, right? They can look to find out what might be the best fit for you. They can negotiate terms on your behalf. So for example, depending on the property type, some banks might be more favorable for condos versus multifamily homes, or maybe some banks cater more towards credit scores. Well, a mortgage broker can go through and determine based off your setup what's going to be the best way to get you the lowest rate, which is a strong advantage. Now, on the flip side of things, mortgage brokers, because they are in between you and the financial institution, I think there's a lack of control. When you're working with a broker, they have to go through someone who's going through someone, and that chain of command, if you will, can start to become diluted. I don't like that in myself and my personal business. I think that when you're in a position where things need to move quickly, or you might find yourself caught in a position where a decision has to be made that could impact your closing, it's nice to have that direct line of contact to make those decisions. So that's on the downside of working with a mortgage broker. But overall, the plus side is negotiating terms on your behalf that could be better than you would receive on your own. Also being able to look at a large array of products. And then on the flip side, the downside is just maybe that lack of control, as well as you may run into additional fees because they are a middleman. You're going to find yourself in a position where they might have extra costs for their services. Next, we have mortgage bankers or mortgage lenders. These are the financial institutions that are providing the funds for your transactions. So you're going directly to the source. What I like about this is that you're dealing directly with the decision makers. So if something's outside of the box, or if there's a game time decision that needs to be made, then you have a better chance of having that decision made quickly and hopefully in a more favorable light. Now, going through and looking at this, I think it's important to break this down into two different types of mortgage lenders or mortgage bankers. You have retail banking outlets that I'm sure you're familiar with, household names like Chase or Bank of America. These are large depository institutions where you may hold your checking and savings accounts. Now, the benefits of working with a bank like this is that they can have access to their own products and their own programs, maybe programs that they do not offer to anyone outside of their institution, such as other mortgage brokers or other mortgage bankers. So the benefit there is they might have a product available that works really well for you that you can only get through that lending institution. Another benefit is going to be that direct line to the money. So again, making sure you're working with that decision maker and making sure that these types of financial institutions can make those decisions. Well, now you're in a better position to get through the loan process, hopefully in a smoother transaction. Now, on the flip side of things, and I guess the pros and cons, if you will, on the con side, dealing directly with a bank like this, because they are depository institutions, I find that banks, their best interest is served by getting people to deposit their money, not necessarily focused on mortgage lending, right? That's not their bread and butter, if you will. Their profit margins are not set off of, or making their money, and their success of their business is not based off of obtaining the best loan for you. They do this as a way to entice customers for deposits. So I think on the flip side, you can find less of an investment in the process in itself, as well as almost not less of an interest, but it feels that way when you're dealing with someone and they have to talk to their team that's located in another state. You may not be able to get those answers, and you may find yourself in a position where the right hand doesn't quite know what the left hand is doing. Now, alongside with mortgage bankers and mortgage lenders, you have what's known as a correspondent lender, or just a mortgage banker direct. These are companies that you may have seen out there. My company, Guaranteed Rate. There's other large companies out there, Loan Depot, Fairway. These are mortgage lenders that only lend to help people buy and refinance their homes. Now, an advantage there, again, like a mortgage broker, these types of lenders are going to have access to a wide array of programs. So they're going to be able to look and say, okay, based off of everyone who is available out there in the market, whether it's these retail banks or other options that only brokers can access, well, a mortgage banker can go through and look at those options and figure out who's the best fit. Basically, where can we get you the cheapest money based off your setup, your property type, your credit score? And that can mean better interest rates. Because you're dealing directly with the banker in this situation, you also should be able to find lower fees as well as a much smoother process. Again, you're dealing with the decision maker. So in this case, you're dealing with an institution that's not only making the decisions, but at the same time, you're also dealing with a lender whose only focus is to provide the best possible loan for you. That's how these companies make money. This is how our company stays in business. So that's a benefit there. Now, on the cons or the downside of working with a mortgage banker like this, again, we may not have access to some of these programs. For a long time, for example, there was a physician's loan that was available that the banks would not give to lending institutions at guaranteed rate. We've gotten those now, but make no mistake, these types of programs come and go. There will be banks that offer incentives that we can't get our hands on. So I think at the end of the day, the bottom line is that there are benefits of working with any of these three types of lenders. Technically two types of lenders, but two within one. You just have to find out what's the best fit for you. Shop around, talk to mortgage professionals. Ultimately, find out who you connect with and who you think is working in your best interest and who you feel like is going to get you from that conversation up to the closing table and that who you want to build a relationship with. But, there's a lot to take in, a lot of great resources. So good luck out there, and make sure you hit like and subscribe to find out more videos on how we can help you make sure that you can obtain the best loan for your financial needs.